Hey Crossover family, this is Larry Acosta reaching out to you to encourage you today that one of the best places on the planet is Crossover Church. I have the utmost of respect for you as a congregation and for your pastoral leadership team. As many of you know, I've been privileged to walk with Pastor Tommy and Lucy and some of the leadership team, and it has been an absolute joy. Just know that I have just so much respect for who you are and all that God is doing there. I really believe that your church is one of the model churches that needs to inform what the church needs to be as we move into the future to engage the next generation. And so you can imagine that in my heart of hearts, I am overjoyed to just feel like you are my church away from home. And I want to affirm you. But I also want you to know that in my journey with Pastor Tommy, I hope you know that he is an amazing man. He is a learner. And he is willing to receive insight and counsel. He has this humility about him that makes him just such a man worth following. He has a teachable spirit. And so there's older guys like me that are pouring into Pastor Tommy so that he can get some of the tools and the skills that we wish some of us would have had more intentionally from those who have led before us. And so I want you to know, not only does he have a teachable spirit and a receptive heart for influence and wisdom and counsel and to just process things as he's trying to figure it out, but I want you to know that this whole thing of mentorship, he really wants it to kind of trickle down in and through the entire congregation. You know, even recently as I was privileged to be with you at Flavor Fest, I found myself pouring into some of the young leaders. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man, there's not a ton of benefits as I get older, but one of the rich aspects of growing older is the privilege of now pouring into young leaders, like your pastor and like all of those leaders who were on your campus just recently at Flavor Fest. But now I want to just switch and put a little shout out or challenge to you to say, what are you doing to influence the next generation? Or what are you doing to disciple or mentor those who are around you? I have this baton here, and many of you know that in a relay race, the race is won or lost with the exchange, the baton exchange. And so this is so key. And so you have skills, you have values, you have experience that you can equip the next generation with if you'll be willing to maybe get over some of your fears or the fact that we still have some brokenness in our lives and we don't have it all together. But I guarantee you, even with your brokenness, you still have some competencies and some strengths that and some wisdom that you can give to those around you. So I just want to say, as Pastor Tommy continues his message today, I want to encourage you to find some of those Timothys that might be around you. Find some of those Pauls that might be above you, that can pour into you and download wisdom to you. But I also want to say that some of you need to find a Barnabas to walk with. Barnabas was that encourager that was kind of a peer-to-peer encourager to others. And so as you try to lead forward as a congregation, no matter if you're that older person in the congregation, maybe my age or older, or if you're that young leader coming up, would you find a way to invest in those around you? Find a way to give something away that God's given to you, a skill set, a value. For some of you, it's going to be pouring into the youth and youth ministry. Some of you, it's going to take your skill through music and the arts and to shape the character and help some of these amazing artists and graphic designers and different people that are coming to your church and helping round out their character and their spiritual formation so they can be the total package of all that God wants them to be. And so, before I let you go and Pastor Tommy finishes up today's message, maybe think of it this way. Who is in your mentoring constellation? Is there a Paul that is above you? Do you meet with them maybe once a month, maybe twice a month for coffee? Or is there a download that's happening? Are you reading a book together with them? Are you bouncing off some of your questions and concerns? Maybe, like me, you didn't grow up in a healthy home and there was a lot of brokenness. And maybe that's that little bit older man that you're asking for information and wisdom so that you can break the chain from your past and be a healthier dad and husband than maybe you had modeled for you. But maybe some of you, Jesus has changed your life and you've been walking with Jesus for a minute and you're some of those Pauls and you're pouring into some of those young Timothys. Would you start being more intentional about pouring into the next generation if you're my age or older? Give some of that knowledge and some of the wisdom we've gained from the mistakes we've made, right? Give it away freely. Invite people over to your house and share a meal and just open your life up. Share your story, share your pain, share some of the lessons learned. Open yourself up to receiving questions and input from those around you. And I trust that as you begin to live that kind of a life, whether you're kind of more on the Paul age of things, your life will be more rich as you help others be empowered and gain wisdom that you wish you would have had maybe in your 20s and your 30s. Give that download to them and help them emerge more smoothly. If you're those younger leaders, can I just encourage you to embrace what God wants to do in and through your life? I know there's brokenness in your life. I know you don't feel worthy. You don't want to take that role of responsibility to maybe lead down, in that down line of those you want to develop. And maybe it's even hard. You have issues with authority figures just because some of the brokenness in your past. Can I just encourage you to have that teachable spirit that Pastor Tommy models in our relationship as we talk on the phone 2 or 3 times a month and share life together. But I encourage you, no matter where you are on that equation, Paul, Timothy, or a Barnabas and some of your peers that you hang out with that sharpen you and help motivate you and encourage you in the race, would you make mentorship and discipleship and building up those around you, up, down, and sideways, would you make that a greater priority? And your life will be more rich for it. You'll be more knowledgeable and experienced. You'll make fewer mistakes because you'll learn from some of our mistakes if we're on the older side, right? And I think the church will be healthier for it. So create that culture, Crossover family. Create that culture of mentorship and discipleship. And let's see what God wants to do in and through your wonderful congregation there. So have a great day. Pastor Tom's going to wrap up the message. And thanks for letting me be with you today. It was an absolute privilege and joy. And just know my heart is in Tampa. All right, man. Love you guys.
Perfect.